Hi, good morning. Joseph Rittenhouse here. I'm about to head out right now. I'm going to go to the cafe and I'm going to study. But before I even head out, I've already been listening to some material on my phone. I've been listening to either maybe an audible book, or I've been listening to someone give a speech on YouTube, or I've been listening to someone's podcast. And what I'm trying to do is I listen to different people who are involved in small business or real estate or sales, things like that, and I'm trying to hear people's good ideas, new ideas, or I'm trying to listen for them to restate old ideas in a new way so that I'm constantly being taught by them. And I have a couple of people that I listen to, and I'm listening to them in rotation so that I'm always getting fed with new material. If one person isn't releasing new material, then someone else is releasing new material. For example, today this guy was talking about, he's a successful man in sales, and he was talking about how just because you are splashing the water does not mean you're swimming. So it's basically saying that just because you're having activity does not mean that you're actually taking action. Just because you're moving around a lot does not mean you're actually getting anywhere with your activity. So I thought, wow, it's a different way of thinking of an old idea. So that gets my mind going. Now I'm going to go to the cafe and I'm going to sit down and study a couple things that I need to work on. And I'll see you there at the cafe. This is a scooter that I rented. It's $5.50 per day. You need your passport and a deposit of $100. Each day is $5.50. You can rent them up to as long as like a month or two if you want. And the longer that you rent it for, the cheaper it's gonna be. To fill it up is $3.50. To fill the whole tank up, $3.50 US. And I can ride it 100 miles. It's just some little math that I do just to keep track of my transportation costs. It's fun. I don't even really super love math, but I just like to keep track of my transportation costs, my living expenses, my food costs, entertainment costs. It's just addition, subtraction, division. Stop here and get some water. A lot of commercial and residential development going on. About 20 minutes away from downtown Ho Chi Minh City. Going to the Aeon Mall, the Japanese company. Buy some plants if you want to. I've arrived at the mall. Now I'm gonna begin my work and study session. Today what I'm going to be working on is learning about profit and loss statements, also learning about how to create and read balance sheets. I realized, it's come to my attention that as I watch business shows like The Profit by Marcus Lemonis, so this guy, he goes into people's businesses and he works on them, and one of the first things he asks for is the balance sheet. A lot of people don't even understand their own balance sheet for their business. They don't even know the numbers, like their revenue. They don't know the cost of to create their products, or they're just not very good with the numbers. So I realized that if I'm ever going to be successful, I need to understand profit and loss statements. I also need to understand balance sheets. So I'm going to spend a couple of hours today learning about how to write them and how to read them. It's pretty confusing for me, the whole credit and debit thing. I've been using YouTube channels with a couple of real estate investors and also a couple of accountants that are familiar with real estate investing for QuickBooks, and they can explain it pretty detailed. I'm also using lynda.com, L-Y-N-D-A, lynda.com, and using my LA County library card. I get free access to lynda.com. I've been watching some videos on there about balance sheets. So basically, I'm sure that if you were to ask Bill Gates or Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett or Jeff Bezos of Amazon to look at a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet, Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure they would know very quickly what it means, how to read it and interpret it, and what it says about the health and status of your business. So this is something I really need to understand, not only for my real estate but for later if I ever want to get involved in any sort of small business. These profit and loss statements, these balance sheets are like the language of business. So whether I use them or not, I need to understand them so that I can learn about what's going on with other people's business. Also so I can understand and communicate with other people on the topic of business. So I'll spend a couple of hours doing that. And also these real estate investors who are purchasing apartment complexes, I noticed that they're using balance sheets, they're using profit and loss statements. So I'm a small-time guy. I've got one house, I've got a couple of partnerships that I'm involved with other people. My mentor, he said one thing. He said when he was small, he already started acting like he was big. So even though I'm a small-time guy, I only have a net worth of $250,000, I make $70,000 a year, I need to already start learning how to use QuickBooks, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, because if I ever plan on being big, having apartment complexes or any sort of service or product business, I'm going to have to understand profit and loss statements and balance sheets. My goal isn't to be writing profit and loss statements and balance sheets all day, but I at least need to know how to read them, know what they're saying. Then that way I open myself up to accidentally stumbling across new interesting things. I might be looking at balance sheets of different businesses and wow, I never noticed that before. I never saw that before. So I like to overlearn so that I open myself up to maybe accidentally growing, accidentally learning something new. And later I'll eventually hand the responsibility of balance sheets off to an accountant. But while I'm a beginner, a small-time guy now, I should learn how to read them for myself.